Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Lana Michelson and my friend Jan. And last week we started working with her on sessions. You were working on health issues, and we got sort of into the whole issue about how throughout your whole life you felt extremely ugly. And your mother made you feel ugly, and your brother made you feel ugly. And we worked on around that issue, which is connected to your health because when you feel ugly, you don't want to go outside. And the
Right.
best way to stay inside is if you're sick. That gives you that perfect excuse of why you're hiding inside. I'm sick.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, so what changes? First of all, before we start this, it's okay that we put this video on YouTube and all the rest of the videos that we film together to put on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, great, thanks. So tell me, what changes have you found during the week?
Well, the first thing I found is as soon as that session was over, I just felt lighter, physically lighter. I was clearer mentally. I felt happier, like energetic, it felt really good. Kind of felt the dread lifting off. And I'm not sure what that dread was because I wrote it right after we finished. So maybe dread of everything. And then I felt good and really good until I got my mail.
What happened in your mail?
Well, I was in an auto accident back at the end of August and having trouble getting the insurance company, my insurance company, because she was uninsured, to pay for medical bills. And I got it. I felt, tightened up and really fretful. I had a lot of trouble sleeping, adding up all of the bills in my head. Right. And then the next morning I called and she said that, they had rejected or denied my appeal on some of it. And then there was a bill that came up we didn't even know about that got lost in wherever. It just kept climbing, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. And so I talked to her and she seemed very calm, the adjuster. And so she finally said, it's not a big deal. It's such a small amount. We'll probably just waive the denial and pay it anyway. And I was like, really? Okay. I was like, I really was fighting about that for nothing. And so I got my notebook. And so anyway, that helped a little bit, but still, she said, well, probably. She didn't say we would override the bill. But and then I thought about, to me, $4,000 was huge. Right. Well, for her, compared to $40,000,
it's nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing for an insurance company. So that helped. And then I think that, I was trying to say, I think that kind of ended my feeling good. But the funny thing was that that did happen. That was Tuesday. Friday, I went for a mammogram, and and they were going to do an ultrasound, and it wasn't going to be a good experience. Right. They were looking for something, whatever. I put makeup on.
Wow.
I don't normally wear makeup. I put makeup on. I put eyeshadow on, which you don't usually do during the day. It was like,
I don't know.
When I pulled up in the parking lot, turned the key off, and I did a selfie. I did this. So that was huge.
That is amazing.
And I felt better,
Good.
Going in with makeup on, because I don't normally wear makeup, because I've had it in my head that if I don't have makeup on, no one will recognize me. And so I'll be invisible. I'm just like, I think I'm going to walk through the stores and nobody's even going to recognize me.
Right.
So that was good. And then,
well, you felt you didn't have to hide.
Yeah. And then the next day, I went to a dinner theater with a group that I go with a few times a year, and I put makeup on again.
Wow.
And put eyeshadow on again. And it was like, that was kind of fun. I probably have an eyeshadow on, and I would say maybe close to 10 years.
Cool. Very, very cool.
So that was huge. And
that is huge.
So, yeah. So in the fact that I was sick for a month with the flu, and I'd look in the mirror and I'd just see these black circles under my eyes. And so I put makeup on and I looked in the mirror and I didn't notice them that much.
Cool.
It was more of maybe a non-issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it all goes back to this idea that you don't feel you need to hide yourself anymore.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting is that, I've done sessions on my brother calling me ugly my whole life, and kids in the neighborhood call me ugly, and that being my nickname my whole life, and really feeling like that. But I had never addressed it with my mother, which was really the person that started it, that promoted it. She would be there when my brother would tell me I was ugly and never correct him, even through high school.
It's also your mother plays a very large role in setting your self-image.
Yeah.
Yeah, more so than anybody else, especially when you're young.
Yeah. I had always looked up to that's my big brother, who thought I was ugly. But, here was mom that it was just different.
Well, it's the mom who has, usually when a mother has only one daughter, she like dotes on the daughter and like buys everything for her, like, all the girl stuff that she wants to do, she does with that one daughter. Yes. And in your case, it didn't seem to happen. So the message,
it's opposite.
The message that you got was that you weren't important to your mother. That she might not have even rather not have you. So
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I had done maybe at least a couple of sessions about that very issue, because, she had my oldest brother when my father was married to somebody who lived in another state. And then my second brother, she put him out for adoption. The second brother was a preemie. So I was the third child. It was a girl. And, they couldn't afford me. I know my dad didn't want me, but doing a session on, my mother not wanting me through her whole pregnancy and then being born and that kind of thing. So she was uncomfortable with herself as a woman.
Right, exactly.
And so she couldn't, she was not clean. She was a very dirty person. Physically, our house was always dirty. She just didn't know how to do the girl thing, and having been an orphan for several years, she just didn't have what it took, and didn't know how to nurture or be the mother, that she should have been or could have been.
Right.
So, yeah, it's been interesting to see, how do I say it, why I am the way I am about a lot of things.
Right. And it's also interesting to see how changing a little thing like how your mother looked at you that day changed your outlook on you. That you felt good wearing makeup. You felt good being seen, noticed.
Yeah. I spent, my first 18, 19 years walking around with my head down, and kind of slouched when I'd walk or sit or anything, because trying to hide so no one would see me, because I was so ashamed. Mom said this looked bad and that looked bad or whatever. So, but it was really about her.
Right, exactly.
And I'm sad for her, but not that sad.
Well, it's her journey. It's not yours. You don't have to take it to be yours.
Yeah, it was her choice.
Yeah.
And, I don't remember us doing anything together, mother and daughter. Right. Every year before Thanksgiving, she would bake pies and cookies and bake and make candy, and she would just fill her freezer up, and we would eat on it till New Year's. Right. But she did it while I was at school.
Right. She didn't do it with you.
She didn't do anything with me. Nothing whatsoever.
Yeah. And
I never thought of us being enemies per se, but she just couldn't connect with me,
Right.
So anyway, it's okay. I went.
Well, go back to that memory again when your mom was telling you. Okay, she couldn't look at you, right? See how it's changed. If it's still changed in your mind when you go there.
Okay. We're just standing, having a conversation. And when I was 12, my mom was 5'6". When I was 12, I was 5'6.5".
Mm-hmm.
When I see myself, I don't see myself as a little girl. I
Right.
see my now with my mother being kind of the same size. So I'm a little
Right.
bit taller than that now. But we're two women. I'm not even the little girl anymore. So she's not even saying those things to me because they don't apply.
Right.
If
Right.
she never
Well,
said it.
let's shrink you down a little bit. Go back to when you're like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
How's your mom doing you there?
It's just not there.
It's not there. Okay, good.
There's not even an image. My memory of her criticizing me and putting me down, I don't remember back that far. So
Mm-hmm.
it would have been until maybe I would have been 10,
Okay, so
12.
go back when you're 10, 12. Well, when you're
Okay.
12, you already said you still you saw yourself like as an adult with her. Go back to when you're 10.
Okay. I'm saying it. She's saying those things to me, but it's not having an effect. I'm just looking at her smiling and laughing, and she's laughing back because it's more of a tease, like you were telling me last week about
Yes.
the evil eye.
Right.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Because she was Jewish.
Look at that.
She was doing the evil eye thing on me, maybe.
Right.
So, but yeah, it doesn't.
Doesn't affect you. Okay, good.
It's just a non-issue.
Good. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. What were your other memories there that we had to work on?
Well, the thing that came up that I emailed you about was my visit to my brother and sister-in-laws.
Right.
That
Okay.
brought my whole family dynamic. And my sister-in-law has brain and lung cancer
Mm-hmm.
and has about a year to live, getting ready to go through chemo to try to prolong it a little bit. But I was there. I was there for most of the day. I tried to leave after lunch, and my brother took a nap, and she just wanted to keep talking. And I hadn't been to their house for 2 years. And let's see if I can go back and kind of give a little bit of background.
Mm-hmm.
My mother died when I was 24. I was 2 months pregnant with my daughter. And my dad met a lady 2 months later, and 2 months after that, he was married. And she didn't need a daughter because she had 2 of them. My stepsister didn't need a sister. They had each other. And my father didn't need a daughter because he had one there, still in high school, that he really liked. And so I was out for 27 years. So the thing that has come up recently that I finally am aware of is that the only happy memories I have are of playing games with my brothers. My 2 brothers I grew up with, one younger and one older. And so when my mother died and my family so I spent.
Wait, you got cut off for a moment. Say it again.
Okay, I said when my mother died, my family just fell apart. We didn't grieve together. My father moved on with a new family, and my younger brother moved away, and my older brother, was married and really didn't know how to I guess, communicate. Best way I can say it. So I lost my whole family. It's like everybody died. So I spent, I'd say, 35 years desperately trying to stay connected with my two brothers. And the younger one just really didn't have anything to do with me. And his son took his life, and he blamed his ex-wife, and he was angry that I didn't hate her. And so he just shut me out of his life. The other one, who is actually local, his wife is insecure. And so she just didn't want me around him. She was real jealous. So if there was a family function, 3 days out, and say that she locked herself in her room, wouldn't talk to him, threatened to kill herself, threatened to kill him, and made him promise to not have anything to do with me or not to speak to me. And she told him he had to make a choice between the two of us. And this went on for years. And I finally, I say after maybe 30 years of it, I just stopped going to family functions because I would either get criticized by everyone there for something, or I would get this phone call. And because she would treat my brother badly, if she was upset, the family members told me I had to make sure she was happy. And the only way she was happy is if I was not there. And if she made it her family, it was mother. My sister-in-laws were her sisters. And I was just out. And so it was interesting. Like when my father passed away in 2009, my brothers and I got together after going to the funeral home. And my younger brother, who's a businessman, said, is there anything that either one of you would like to say, privately? And I just looked at them and I said, I'm glad that he's gone because he can't hurt me anymore. Because my father was cruel up until 6 months before he died. He was just a very cruel, sadistic person to myself and my brothers. So my older brother told his wife, the sister-in-law, and so when the family gathered at their house after the funeral, I was not invited. So there's, family photo of my entire family, last photo, and I'm not there. So I go to the house. My brother lays down for a nap. She's chit-chatting about things. And she looks at me and she says, I made Jack promise that when I die, that he will not move any of his sisters into this house, meaning stepsisters, half-sister. And she said, I could see you selling your townhouse and moving in here. And it's a 7,000 square foot home. And I said, I don't want to live here. All I think about is how much time it would take to clean it. But here at the end, and she made sure to let me know that she made him promise that he would not move me in there. So even after she dies, she's trying to keep us apart. And she's going to succeed because he'll feel guilty. So all these years, he's been afraid to call me or, spend time with me. She even said, your dad was my dad. He was my father.
And you said, you can have him.
Yeah. So, yeah, so there was the competition. When he died, she actually became nice to me and would invite me over, which was surprising. But it was like my family had to be her family, and that excluded me. And when I would say to family members, I'm the one that's family. If anyone is not invited to a family function, it should be her, not me. And everyone backed her up, for all those years. And so I finally just removed myself. I felt guilty getting my brother in trouble. I was told that I actually caused his heart attack in 2000. His son told me it was my fault that he had a heart attack because I wasn't keeping her happy. And, now I'm just trying to be there the way that a sister-in-law should be, and, ask her what she needs and tell her I love her. And, I've never hated her. I just wanted to spend time with my brother. And I couldn't. And so now I've just, when she's gone, he'll be calling me. He's going to be lonely. He can't live by himself. He can't do anything for himself. I'm going to be the person he's going to try to put this burden on.
Right.
And, I have my own life. I don't want to move into his house and feed him and do his laundry and take care of his 4 dogs and remind him when to take his medicine. But for her to say that, it just really hurt me that she's setting it up. Now, even after she's gone, I'll still not be family. So, it was just kind of a reminder of all the horrible things that my family members have said about me, all the way from my father on down. And it was ongoing. So I've just, removed myself from it.
Okay. When you hear those things in your head, all those things that everyone has said, what's the emotion?
Sadness. I feel very, very alone.
Okay.
Angry. When one of my stepmothers had cancer, came down with cancer again, and why he would do this, I don't know, but that's the way my family dynamics is. He called me and said, Dad wanted me to call you and tell you that Juanita has cancer again, and that's your fault. I have been accused of breaking up marriages. My nephew, when my brother had his heart attack, my nephew told me that I broke up his mom and dad's marriage. And I know his mom told him that because...
Who said this again?
This is my nephew. We're pretty sure that he's not my brother's child. She was having an affair when he was in Vietnam, and he divorced her because she started having an affair with some other man. I think he was married. I don't remember. That's why my brother divorced her. But to get the heat off of her, she told him that I did it. And he didn't have anything to do with me for years, and I didn't even know. He'd come in town, he'd leave, my brother would say his son was there, and I'd think, oh, I didn't get to see him. I didn't know the kid hated me. I had no idea. Until 2000. He said, you've ruined every holiday. And I looked at him and I said, the last time I was with you for Christmas, you were crawling. I've never spent Thanksgiving with you. So somebody told him that. it just, I was in shock. I'm always broadsided by family members and things they say, because there was no basis for it. It was like, I just stood there. I started laughing, and he got really mad at me and said, you're a powerful woman. And when he got through, he said, if you tell anybody about our discussion that we had today, I will have revenge. So now I've got this kid, that I loved, that I never got to see, who is now threatening me. And he's a sky marshal, so he carries a gun, and it's just nuts. My first husband cheated on me multiple times. One of them with my half sister, one with my best friend. And my brother was telling me details after he and I split up, and he was laughing about it because everybody knew except me, and he thought it was funny. I've been told my daughter would never forgive because I'd made too many mistakes. I've been told that I'd never have a relationship with her. I had a stepmother that said that she expected more of me than she did her daughters, and that I wasn't welcome in her home. I was thrown out of my family by my dad. It was kind of anything wrong, it was Jan's fault. My half sister, who was from my dad's first marriage, tried to get my dad to disinherit me. It's my family dynamic. When I found out that the one stepmother was dying, I called my daughter to tell her, and she started yelling at me on the phone. And it's like, wow. So it's with my family, I just can't do anything right. And I reconcile with my daughter, but I still have to, watch what I say.
Okay. How strong do you feel at all?
I'd say it's a 10.
Okay. And how do you know you feel it?
My head hurts really bad. And I just feel a lot of pressure and pain in my face, a lot of pain in my temples, and just tightness in my whole body. Like, I'm just tense and very angry. I could feel the anger, like I just want to scream, for them to stop it. And I'm frustrated that I have to keep my distance from everyone, because anything that's going on in their lives, they're going to find a way to blame me for it. Just like my brother's son killing himself. He couldn't handle the fact that I didn't hate his ex-wife. He has two daughters, and I actually found out, he said, how could I be friends with someone who destroyed his life? And he just wrote me off as a sister, as a person. He's just gone. And I found out about 10 years ago, several times a year with his new wife, Christmas, birthdays, you name it, Thanksgiving, whatever. He sees his ex-wife several times and spends like the day with her. And he didn't tell me that. But he does it for his kids, so he can be around his kids. But it wasn't okay for me to be around her to be able to be around his kids. You know, so, or just something. And so for years, I'd get frustrated and I would cry and cry and cry because I missed my brothers. I had no relationship with them. The last time I saw him, he's just very smug. You know, we don't have a conversation. We're going to talk about music or the weather or your garden or cars. He's even told me family is not to be there for each other. That's not what family's for. Family is to get together. Why can't you just come to a family function and talk about the weather? And I hadn't realized until actually just this last week what I was, my family, you know, and I lost my mother and I lost my father 4 months later, and all I had left was my brothers. And I spent 35 years desperately trying to have a relationship with them. And in the very beginning, when we all got married before my mom died, we actually got together, 3 couples, we got together and played games. And that was my happy memory from my childhood, was playing games with my brothers. And so it ended. It ended 42 years ago. And now, last time I saw my younger brother, he's a stranger. I have no connection. He doesn't ask how I'm feeling or how I'm doing or what I'm doing. He doesn't share anything about himself. Everything's a big secret. Everything has always been, I'm going to tell you what's wrong with you, but you won't know anything about me, so you'll think I'm perfect because I'm going to let you know that I am. My other brother, he complains about his wife all the time. So he's not that pleasant to be around because I have to be careful. If it looks like I agree with him on anything, he'll tell her that I said it. He was a lot of the problem with us being upset with each other all the time.
Okay, I want you to take all those stuff, feel it all, feel the frustration, feel the loneliness, feel the anger, feel the excommunication, feel the scapegoat, feel the everything's my fault. No matter what I do, everything's just my fault. Can't say anything. Even if I don't show up, everything's my fault. Okay? Feel all that.
I will just tell you this. When my younger brother would come to town once a year, and when he would leave, he would get within 5 minutes of the next city, east of Kansas City, and he would call me and he would tell me everything I did wrong at the family function. And it would be, I walked in the room wrong. I sat in the chair wrong. I used the wrong tone of voice. I looked at the sister-in-law wrong. I wasn't nice enough to her. I said the wrong thing. It was everything I did wrong. And then he would say, I'm coming into rush hour. I gotta go. He did it every time. So I couldn't go to a family gathering and be myself. I had to be on guard all the time. And it was always, to draw attention away from everybody else or their own stuff, by putting it on me. I was to blame for every single thing in the family.
Okay, peel all that and put on that branch on that tree. Make sure it doesn't roll off. Don't want to lose it yet. Want to still work on it. Okay, got it there? Okay, now I want you to imagine a tree in front of you. That same tree which has that branch with all the stuff on it. What would happen if I put my hand in and I pulled it out by its roots? So, whoops, wait, catch it, quickly, it's rolling off. Got it? Okay, what would happen to that tree?
Fall and die.
Right, okay. Now let's imagine that you're outside on a windy day and you're holding a bouquet of helium balloons, biodegradable ones. And inside each one of those helium balloons, you have some of those memories and some of those feelings. What would happen to those helium balloons if I opened up your hand?
They would float away.
And disappear, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I want you to imagine there's a box of pizza in front of you, and there's one piece of pizza left in there, and before you get a chance to, I grab that piece of pizza, and I gobble it all up. What would be left in the box?
Be empty.
Right, there'd be nothing left there. Okay, let's start tapping. Letting go of all fears, letting go of all sadnesses,
All sadness.
letting go of all emotional traumas,
Letting go of all emotional traumas.
letting go of the helplessness,
Letting go of the helplessness.
letting go of the hopelessness,
Letting go of the hopelessness.
letting go of the no control,
Letting go of no control.
letting go of the guilt,
Letting go of the guilt.
letting go of the shame,
Letting go of the shame.
letting go of the rejections,
Letting go of the rejections.
letting go of the abandonments,
Letting go of the abandonments.
letting go of the guilt,
Letting go of the guilt.
letting go of the loneliness,
Letting go of the loneliness.
letting go of the frustrations,
Letting go of the frustrations.
letting go of it's always my fault,
Letting go of it's always my fault.
letting go of the scapegoat,
Letting go of the scapegoat.
letting go of the excommunication,
Letting go of the excommunication.
letting go of the 35 years,
Letting go of the 35 years.
letting go of the feeling in my head,
Letting go of the feeling in my head.
feeling in my temples,
Feeling in
all the sensations,
all the sensations.
all the colors,
All the colors.
all the images,
All the images.
all the shapes,
All the shapes.
all the feelings,
All the feelings.
and everything else.
And everything else.
I let them all go now.
Let them all go now.
It's safe to let it go.
It's safe to let it go.
It's time to let it go.
It's time to let it go.
Whatever it means,
Whatever it means.
whatever it represents,
Whatever it represents.
whoever gave it to me,
Whoever gave it to me.
I forgive them,
I forgive them.
not for their sake,
Not for their sake,
but for mine.
but for mine.
It doesn't hurt them to hold it in.
Doesn't hurt them to hold it in.
It only hurts me.
It only hurts me.
So I choose to let it go.
I choose to let it go.
I choose to change it to self-love,
I choose to change it to self-love.
self-acceptance, self-acceptance,
Self-acceptance.
and self-forgiveness,
And self-forgiveness.
just the way that I am.
Just the way that I am.
I am perfect with all my imperfections.
I'm perfect in all my imperfections.
Okay, I'm going to say the letters of the alphabet. You give me a good word for each one. A.
Apple. How about admiration?
V.
Boyish.
Boyish. Think of a better
Uh-huh.
one.
I think of boyish as being active,
Okay. C.
loose, cute,
D.
darling,
E.
excellent,
F.
frank.
Frank. I hope that wasn't one of your ex-husbands.
Yes.
It was?
Frank as an honest. I'll be frank with you.
Oh, okay. Got it.
I'll be frank with you if you be frank with me. Yeah, that one.
G.
Girly,
G. H.
heartfelt,
I.
innocent.
J.
Jan,
K.
kitten.
Let it all go today.
What?
I let it all go now.
I let it all go now.
I'm safe.
I'm safe.
I want you to grab your wrist. Breathe in. Blow out. Go to Colorado. Go to that stream. Go to that rock in the middle of the stream. Feel that closeness to God. You're never alone.
With my big blanket on it.
God's always with you. When you're ready, say peace.
Peace.
Okay. How are the feelings? What's different?
I think what changed was that that my family's never understood me. When I was telling my sister-in-law how much it hurt that my younger brother, I found out my younger brother would come to town, stay with them, with his wife, stay with them, and then leave. And then my older brother would tell me, "Oh, John was here last week," and this. I told her how much that hurt me, and she said, "Well, John just, kind of came into town to see Jack, and he just left, and it was like not a big deal to her." And then she was like, 5 minutes later, she goes, "Well, I'm going to shoo you out because this is when I go take my bubble bath and talk to my sister." And I'm going, "Okay, well, you have a sister. What's wrong that I want a brother?
Right.
Why do you not understand that that's okay to want to have a relationship with my brother? It's not a bad thing." And so it's not, the anger feels less because it's more of, why don't you understand? This is my family.
Okay, feel that
That's
frustration. Feel the frustration.
Okay.
How you feel it, how strong you feel it. Okay, step into
Yes.
it and start tapping. All this frustration.
All this frustration.
Why don't they get it?
Why don't they get it?
Why don't they understand it for me?
Why don't they understand it for me?
Let it all go.
I let it all go.
Safe to let it go.
Safe to let it go.
It can only hurt me
Can only hurt me
if I let it hurt me.
if I let it hurt me.
I choose to take my power back.
I choose to take my power back.
It doesn't matter if they understand or not.
It doesn't matter if they understand or not.
I'm allowed to have what's rightfully mine.
I'm allowed to have what's rightfully mine.
And my family is rightfully mine.
And my family is rightfully mine.
God gave it to me.
God gave it to me.
And it's for me.
And it's for me.
And I keep it and I treasure it.
And I keep it and I treasure it.
And if they have an issue with it,
And if they have an issue with it,
it's their problem,
it's their problem,
not mine.
not mine.
I'm safe. I forgive them,
I forgive them,
not for their sake.
not for their sake.
They don't deserve it,
They don't deserve it,
but for my sake.
but for my sake.
Because it only hurts me to keep it inside of me.
It only hurts me to keep it inside of me.
And as long as I keep it inside of me,
As long as I keep it inside of me,
it's what I'm going to keep attracting to myself.
it's what I'm going to keep attracting to myself.
I choose to let it go.
I choose to let it go.
I'm safe.
I'm safe.
Grab your wrist. Breathe in. Blow out. See yourself in Colorado. That oneness with nature, with God, with love. The sun shining, the birds chirping, the water rushing, all those clear pebbles in front of you. When you feel them all, say peace.
Ah, peace.
Okay, go back. See your sister. She's telling you, I gotta take a bubble bath now. I'm going to, then I speak to my sister. You don't deserve a brother. You don't deserve to have
Sister-in-law.
a sister-in-law.
Yeah.
You don't deserve to have a brother, but I'm going to go speak to my sister-in-law. How does it feel now?
It's like, but she doesn't understand that's my brother. You know,
Okay.
she's her sister that she's close to.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone, she has taken me in as her sister as long as I agree with her and don't defend my brother. She's gone for 2 to 3 years and not spoken to me for some innocent thing I said and wouldn't allow my brother to see me. So she has a lot of control over him and my family. She's a lot of control over everybody.
Okay, feel that.
Okay.
And start tapping. She has so much control over my family,
She has so much control over my family,
over my brother,
over my brother,
and almost everyone else in my family.
and almost everyone else in my family.
And she blames everything on me.
She blames everything on me.
I let it go.
I let it go.
It's safe to let it go.
Safe to let it go.
It's time to let it go.
Oh, it's time to let it go.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I've been living my life like this for so long.
Shut up. I've been living my life like this for so long.
I wouldn't know what to do if they didn't blame me.
Wouldn't know what to do if they didn't.
I wouldn't know what to
I don't know how to not be on the defense. You know?
I wouldn't know how not to be in the defense.
I wouldn't know how to not to be on the defense or on the fence.
Or whatever fence.
Yeah, whatever fence.
But on the other hand,
But then again,
if I ever want it back,
if I ever want it back,
Ilana can always give it back to me.
Ilana can always give it back to me.
Bad and much worse.
Bad and not and much worse. Thank you.
And if I do let it go,
And I do let it go,
I might not know who I am.
I might not know who I am.
I only know that I'll be a lot happier.
We know I'll be a lot happier.
A lot
Amen.
healthier.
A lot healthier.
And I might even have my brothers back.
And I might even have my brothers back.
So I choose to let it go.
I choose.
I forgive you, sister-in-law.
Forgive my sister-in-law.
See, you're on that stage in your mind. See, you're doing something that's meaningful to her, taking that bubble bath and speaking to her sister and chasing you out. And say to her, I forgive you.
Sounds so ridiculous.
It is. Tell her, I forgive you.
It is, because it was not 5 minutes later after she just said, I don't understand what the big deal is that your brother comes to town and doesn't see you for years. Oh, I'm sorry, you have to go because I'm going to go have a bowl bath and then talk to my sister. I'm going, okay, you have a sister. I mean, you have a sibling and I don't.
Back to here. See, you're on that stage and say to her, I forgive you.
I forgive you.
Not for your sake,
Or not for your sake,
but for my sake.
but for my sake.
You don't necessarily deserve it,
You don't necessarily deserve it.
but it's all that you had inside of you.
That's all you had inside of you.
It's what you got from your parents
It's what you got from your parents
and from your caregivers.
and from your caregivers.
And you can't give out
Can't give out
something that you don't have.
something that you don't have.
You love me the only way that you knew how.
You love me the only way that you knew how.
So I forgive you
So I forgive you.
and I set you free
And I set you free
so that I can set myself free.
so that I can set myself free.
And I want you to see her smiling on that stage, waving to you as she slowly disappears. And I want to see you standing in front of these big iron doors and watch them open up, letting in the sunshine and the warmth. And see these big iron chains fall off of your feet as you step forward onto the grass and feel the cool grass and dirt underneath your feet. Feel the warm sunshine above you shining down, energizing you. And see all the flowers smiling to you. And smile back to them. And feel the love. And then grab your wrist. Breathe in. Blow out. And say peace.
Peace.